Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching video. In this video, I'm going to be doing my Flossmas starting on day 4. It is currently December 4th and we'll probably do another 3 or 4 days of Flossmas projects, which if you don't know, Flossmas is normally where you film a video every day and then you post it every day, but I decided that instead of posting them every day, I will just edit them together so it makes like a 15-20-minute video with multiple days. So I also have this box here that I'm working from. It is an advent calendar and every day I am picking one of the boxes. So today we're on number 4 and that box has a cross-stitching project for me to work on, and it also has yarn for me to make some granny squares, which will go towards my scrap blanket that I'm trying to make. So it's all scrap yarns that are going towards a granny square blanket. I also, in the background, I will show it at the beginning of the video and then just at the very end, I'm working on Autumn Harmony, which is artwork by Maxine Gadd, charted by Maxine Gadd, and I am trying to get her finished in the month of December. So currently Autumn Harmony is sitting at 53 colors finished out of 100 colors, and I have 6,500 stitches left. So we will see where she is at the end of the video. So here is like a good little before shot of her. I think I really want to try and like finish filling in this section so that there is a smaller area that I'm working in, because right now I have some stitches left over here and then some stitches over here, and I would like to kind of work in and make the working area smaller than what it is right now. And then I need to go and pick my project for day 4. So here is the box for day 4 and let's see what it will be. Do you guys want to see first? Would you guys like to see first? Ah, there's yarn sticking to it. What is it? What is it? Dark Cinderella, which is artwork by Barrett Biggers, charted by Pain Free Crafts. That is a fun one. I will grab that in a second, but first let's go through the yarn. So the yarns are just little pieces that I had cut off of larger balls. It looks like 2 of these are the same because I did not put these in there. My family put these in there for me. So I need to go and see which yarns these go towards, which I have the bag right back there of all the scrap yarns. So let's see. I am guessing the blue, it could technically be from, I have 2 different blues that are different, but they look very similar. So this is where it's going to be hard to tell which one is which, but I think it's from this darker one, which looks like the color I used yesterday. So we have this one, which is the color I think I used for December 3rd. I'm getting lost on the day. And then I think it's paired with this, which is like a neon-y color. I think that is the one. Hold on. So yeah, those yarn scraps go to this one. So that is going to be a fun combination to be doing, like the blue and then this green. So I'll be making granny squares, which so far I have made 2 granny squares the previous days. So I will try and hopefully do 2 more granny squares today and then get the ends woven in and all that. But right now I need to find where Dark Cinderella is. So let me try and grab my little thing of all my projects are put in here. I have found Dark Cinderella, and I also checked my list because I wrote down how many times each project is in my advent calendar. Dark Cinderella is only in there once, so that means that after I work on her today, she will be put away, and that means that I will have less projects in this bin because it's overflowing right now. Here is my starting point on Dark Cinderella. This is on a 32 count 1/1 tent stitch. So it kind of goes a little bit slow progress-wise because I am not that fast on 32 count, but we will see what I can get done on her today, and I will be back tomorrow with my progress. Welcome to day 5. It is currently December 5th, and I did work on Dark Cinderella last night, and I did, I think it was right under 500 stitches, so it was like high 400s. And I was filling in some of this section here. There is a ton of confetti in this pattern, so I was doing a lot of color changes. Also, there are a lot of like really light colors in this section. So some of the stitches are kind of hard to see because it's light colors, but I did do it. And then I also made my 2 granny squares. So I did one where I was alternating the blue and the like yellowy greeny color, and then I did one of just this color. So we have 2 squares made yesterday, which I did not weave in the ends yet, so that will be a project for this weekend. It is currently Friday, which I am very excited about. Friday. Love Fridays, love the weekend and getting to sleep in, but I will pick my projects for today. Let's see what it will be. Ooh, this is a goodie. I can already see. It is Cozy Winter Book Nook again, which I just did recently. It's artwork by Rose Kahn, charted by Pain Free Crafts, and the yarn today, it's 1 ball and it's a really small one, so we will see if this makes a full granny square. And this is some leftover yarn from a sock. It's a self-striping sock yarn, so it's really going to be interesting to see what colors are going to be in that granny square because it's self-striping, so I don't know what colors are left. So that will be my day 5. I do need to find Cozy Winter Book Nook is right here since I just worked on it recently. And that means I get to do more stitching in the window, which is where I was working last time. So there is the starting point on the window, and I will be back tomorrow with an update. I am back and it is day 6. And I did almost 1,000 stitches on Cozy Winter Book Nook. So I did some of the purpley colors up here, and then I also was working more on the window, including this really light blue color that might be kind of hard to see because it kind of blends in with the fabric. But I was just so excited to be working on this project again that, like I said, I ended up doing almost 1,000 stitches because I just kept wanting to see more progress, which you can't really tell much because it takes, this is such a large chart, it's 500,000 stitches, that everything is so big that like stitching this far on the window, it didn't really get me anywhere. I still, I'm not at like any details, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. My granny squares, I did not make complete granny squares yesterday because I was working on the granny squares in the car pickup line, and I only had brought the one little yarn and it ran out before I could actually finish the squares. So I have a square that still needs one more round, and then I had just enough because I knew that this yarn wasn't going to go all the way around for the last round. So I ended up making one center, and then that was all of the yarn. So I could have worked on them once I got home, but I didn't because I got so hyper focused on Cozy Winter Book Nook. So I will have to finish those squares today. I can possibly use whatever yarn I get today to finish those squares. So today is day 6. Let's see what I will be working on. And we have, this is a fun one, partly because of a game that I got. So I'm going to be working on Pokemon Switch, which is from Glitch Stitch AU, and that's really fun because yesterday I picked up a hold from the library, and it was the Pokemon game that came out in like October, Pokemon Legends ZA or whatever it is. The library had it. I put a hold on it in October, and it just became available this week. So I picked it up yesterday, and now I get a stitch on Pokemon, so that is really fun. I actually have my Switch out here because I was going to play it last night, and then I ended up being like, no, I'm gonna go to bed. But I do have my Switch out. It's ready for me to play. I put the game in, but that's as far as it got. Anyways, the yarn that I have picked for today, there is just one yarn, and it is this scrap. So I will possibly use this one on these granny squares to try and get them finished, and then make something else with it too, like more granny squares. See how many granny squares I can get done. with that yarn. And now I need to find where Pokemon Switch is in all of my projects. It is like early in the morning right now. Everyone else is still asleep, all my kids. And I'm just trying to get this done before they wake up. But it means that I am still kind of like half asleep because I haven't finished my coffee. I'm still drinking coffee. I'm on my first cup. I normally have 2. And so yeah, I am feeling a little tired. Here's Pokemon Switch. I am changing the colors on the controllers that go on the side because the original colors are, the Switch came, the original Switch, not Switch 2, came with different colored Joy-Cons. So there was like a set that had, I think it was like gray Joy-Cons. There was a set with a red and a blue, and then they had special editions that would come with different colors. And I had the Animal Crossing ones, which they're not even on it right now. Right now I just have some other ones. But so the Animal Crossing ones were like a lighter blue and then a like pastel-y green. And so I changed the colors of the Joy-Cons because they were originally red and blue and I wanted them to match my Switch. So I did change the colors. I changed it in Pattern Keeper. So in Pattern Keeper, there is a way that you can edit the colors and see like a mock-up. And so I just messed around with DMC colors that I thought might work and found a few colors that were good enough. And so yeah, here's my starting point on Pokemon Switch, and I will be back tomorrow to show you the progress. I am back and it is now day 7, and last night it was only like 200 stitches on this piece, which it was in the grass, so it's just more green filled in because there are still like 1,600 stitches of just this green because it goes all around here. So that wasn't very fun, but this is on 18 count, 2 over 1, full cross. And then, like I said, I only did like 200 stitches because then I started playing the Pokemon game, which is fun. It's very different though combat wise from other Pokemon games because you can actually like move around and it's not just turn-based, but I won't go too much into it. Also squares. So I did not make a full square. What I ended up doing last night is I had picked like that like kind of brown color, and so I did the final round on this square because this square needed one more round, and then I had this center from the previous day, and then I ended up taking yarns that had previously been picked that had like larger amounts left and then doing rounds. And so then I did a round of the brown and this one, and then I started a center with this brown, and then I want to save a little bit of this color just because there are some colors that I think are going to come later in the month that I would like to use this brown with. So I am kind of trying to like save a little bit of that yarn for later. And so now I will pick my piece for today, which is day 7. Let's see what it is. And so the yarn, first of all, is one that I would like to use with the brown one. It's a multicolor yarn, and it has yellow and then kind of like these darker colors, but then it also has reds, so I will grab that in a second. But let's see, the cross-stitching project for today is it's not focusing. There we go. 12 Movie Nights of Christmas piece that is from Atomic Tiki Pins on Etsy. So I need to grab the yarn for today, and then I also need to grab the project for today. And then, wait, the yarn, I already see it. This is the yarn. So it's this like multicolored one. It's kind of, I mentioned before, it's kind of loud. And so I think it would pair nicely to do like some of this to kind of like tone it down. So we will see what squares I end up making with that. And then now I need the 12 Movie Nights of Stitch Along. 12 Movie Nights of Christmas Stitch Along. Here is the 12 Movie Nights of Christmas Stitch Along. And as you can see, it's a stitch along, and the different boxes around the centerpiece are different Christmas movies. So there's the Santa Claus, Christmas Story, Nightmare Before Christmas, the Grinch. I almost forgot. Christmas Vacation. This is Charlie Brown, and then I had started Elf, but I think today I will be stitching in the main center, which was like, I think this and the border came out before the stitch along started, and then each release for the stitch along was the different movies. So I really need to get working on this center thing because it's gonna have a lot of stitches, so I need to get a lot more done on this. Which this stitch along, I think I have it in Pattern Keeper, and I think it's only like 24,000 stitches, so it's not huge compared to like some of my other charts, but it's just taking me a long time. Partly because I just don't work on it enough, and this is on 18 count, and it's fabric that I dyed myself. So I will be back tomorrow with day 8, and I think that will be my last clip for this video. And I am back with a very small amount of progress on this stitch along, and I realized why. Like yesterday I was like, this is a pretty small piece, I don't know why I haven't made more progress, and then I worked on it and I remembered why, and it's just dark fabric is slow. So last night I only did like 160 stitches, and then I was kind of just like, I quit for the night because I had also worked on Autumn Harmony, and so yeah, it's a lot slower stitching on dark fabric. You have to have like really good light, so no one wants to be around you. Like most of my family, when I have all my lights on, they're like, that's, you know, it's pretty bright. Like I even have this little like headlight thing, so there's just like lights everywhere, and they are usually not into that vibe. They're usually like, can we turn lights off? And I'm like, I need them on. Anyways, so yeah, it takes a lot to be able to stitch on this dark fabric. For me at least. It's not my preferred fabric to stitch on. Especially because like you're basically, you have an idea of where the holes are, but you're really kind of going on like vibes. Like I feel like the needle's in the right place. And so yeah, that's all I got done. 160 stitches. And now that's going to be put away. Wait, no, I think it's actually going to be out a couple more times. Let me see. It is in the box twice, so it still has one more time that it will be picked for this month. And yeah, at some point I will need to just like make that a goal to finish it because it does need to be done and it is fairly small. But yeah, just the lighting issue, I feel like that's more of a project to work on in the summer when it's light out longer. But right now it gets dark, like it's pretty dark right now, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, it's pretty gray right now. Washington is pretty dark for this entire rest of the year. Anyways, let's move on to Autumn Harmony. Happier things, happy thoughts. Autumn Harmony, when I started this video, there was 53 colors left. There are now 60, no, there were 53 colors that I had finished. I finished 7 more colors, and so now there are 60 colors that are complete. That means I only have 40 colors left because there are 100 colors used total. And at the beginning of this video, I had 6,500 stitches left, and there are currently 4,400 stitches left. So progress has been made. I was just making sure I was holding it right. So here she is. I really was trying to, like I said, focus on like filling in some of like this area here and kind of bring the working area into the middle, so that way like this edge right here is kind of hard to end the threads because it's really close to the edge. So I really want to get like this area finished, filled in, and then just have like a smaller area that I'm focusing on. I also did a couple of the colors that had a lot of stitches left. So I was working on, I can't remember what color it was, but there was one color that still had like 400 or 500 stitches left. So I did that color, which kind of, you know, went everywhere. And I think most of the colors that are left, let me see, I'm gonna open up Pattern Keeper really quick. Okay, so the color right now with the most stitches is DMC 300, and it has 490 stitches. So a lot of the colors do not have a lot of stitches left. And in a day, I try and do like 400 to 500 stitches on her. So that means that I'm going to be like, if I were to start color completing, I would be doing like a color a day for some of these, and then getting to a point where I'd have to do multiple colors in a day to get my like stitch count. So it's getting close, very close to the end, and I cannot wait. I say I can't wait, but at the same point, I kind of don't know what I'm going to do goal-wise once I have her finished. I have no idea. I think for January, I might not have like any stitchy goals, and I might just work kind of on whatever I feel like and have like a little bit of freedom, because it's been a couple years that I've been doing like daily stitching on Autumn Harmony. So to not have her around is gonna be real weird. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do after she's done. I'm gonna be lost. I also realized too that I have not had a new start in almost a year. So my last new start was the Haid 2025 stitch along, which came out at the very end of December 2024. So I am approaching 1 year of no starts, which is kind of crazy to me. And so I was kind of thinking like, do I start something in January, because I will have 2 finishes, which means I can have 1 start. My two finishes are Little Gamer from earlier in the year, and then obviously Autumn Harmony whenever I get her done. So I technically will have earned a new start, but I don't know yet if I'm actually going to start something. Part of that is that one of the things that I want to start really bad is Dragon Race Into the Night, which is by artwork by Rose Kahn, I'm pretty sure, and I have it charted from Pain Free Crafts. I also have the Haid Max Color version, but I think I'll be doing the Pain Free Craft version. But yeah, that's a huge chart. I think that's like a 500,000 stitch count chart. So I don't really know if I want to start something that's, you know, that huge. But I also really love the artwork and the colors and how many things there are. There's so many areas that would be really fun to stitch in that chart. Anyways, I need to go back to what this video is supposed to be about. Squares. I did make squares. So I had finished off one of the squares that I had started in the previous day, which was the one with the brown circle. And then I just did alternating with the yarn that I had picked yesterday. And then I also pulled in a yellow that was in my scraps back there. And so I made this square, and then I also made one square of just the variegated, you know, crazy yarn. So those were the squares that I worked on yesterday. And then I also took a picture of all of the squares that I've made so far, like laid out, just so we can kind of see what they're looking like. There are some that kind of like stand out right now because the colors aren't used a ton. So like this blue kind of stands out right now. But there are going to be more blues that are used that are in this bag. So once they're used, I feel like things will kind of blend in a little bit more, because I still have this yellow that hasn't been picked yet. I have another blue. So this is the blue that I've used before. It's kind of like darker. And then this is the other blue, which also has some yellow. So I really feel like it will kind of tie in like the blues and yellows together. I also have this variegated yarn that's got green and blues, which, like I said, I think that will help bring in more blues to make the blue not stand out as much as it does right now. There's also more neutrals, so I have like this neutral color that has not been picked yet. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of my squares are going to look like this month, because yeah, there's still some colors that haven't been picked. I also think that it will all like tie things together more when I have the color that I'm going to use to join my squares. So I ordered a yarn from, it's Knit Picks crochet website. So Knit Picks has a website that is for crochet. I think they have like the same things though. And I ordered yarn that is going to be like my border for all the squares. So all my squares are going to have a border of this yarn color that I picked. And then that is the color I will sew everything together with. And it's kind of like a beigey color, but it's a heathered yarn. I really like the look of heathered yarns for some reason. And that's supposed to be here today. So if it gets here today, I will show it probably in my next clip. And I'm also really excited because I ordered a new hook for making these squares. So the hook that I'm using right now is an older crochet hook. Like a lot of my crochet hooks I got probably in like high school-ish time, and it's bent, so it has like a slight bend, so when I'm holding it, it kind of wants to like twist in my hand while I'm making the squares. So I was like, it's time to get a new one, and so I ordered a new crochet hook. So I'm excited about that, and like I said, I think that's supposed to come today, so I'm really excited to get my package. So that is, I think, all that I have though for this day. This is like the recap of day 7. Today is technically December 8th, which means that right after I finish filming this, because this video is ready to go up after I edit this, I will be picking out my project for today, day 8. So if you want to see that, come back for my next video. And thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!